Calling all Renegades, it's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the essence of no half-stepping. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and I am so proud to be here in the bunker anchoring Renegades of Puck TV. Due to the excitement, due to the extreme nature and emotional reserves that were spent this past weekend all throughout the trenches of Renegades of Puck, all throughout Middle Tennessee, all of the Renegades of Puck are going to be taking this particular episode off, so it is just you and me, and we are on a solo mission. First, let's get back to basics and let's start everything over. Now that the hype and the excitement and all of the different gimmicks that happened in February are done, let's reset the show. And let me remind you, please, check us out at renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, it will give you access points to everything that you need to know about the Renegades of Puck. While you're there at renegadesofpuck.com, it would mean a lot if you click on that merchandise link. Yes, of course, you know you can find the old classic logo t-shirt like the logo you see on the wall behind me that you see on the pucks in front of me on the desk. But you can also find our home base freakout merchandise, which will remain in the store. We had such a great time and such a great event that we want you guys to have a chance to pick up some merchandise still. And we'll keep that stuff in the store as long as we need to. You can also find our Pride logo t-shirts and all of the gimmicks that come with that. We're so incredibly happy to have that merchandise available to you and to have each and every one of you out there sporting it. We still have all the gimmicks that you're familiar with, from the socks to the throw pillows to the bed sets and the wall art. All of it's still there in our store. So we would appreciate if you would pick up some merch, and all of that can be done through renegadesofpuck.com. When it comes to social media, maybe the most critically important aspect of this new venture here for the Renegades of Puck on YouTube and on social media is that you help us out by spreading the links. Now listen, we've received some great support, but we can always get better support. Please give us a subscription on YouTube. We are now up to 120 subscriptions, and that is damn good for an operation that has only existed for about 5 months now. We can always use more help. Turn on those notification alerts as well. Once the link is posted on YouTube, we want you to share it on Facebook. Listen, it's not the most popular format in the world any longer, but plenty of you are still very active, and we can still gain recruitment through the Renegades of Puck by using Facebook. So please share it there. Also, share those links on Twitter. You can always find our links on any of these platforms. All you have to do is hit the share button. Give us a follow, give us a like on Twitter, and interact with every one of the Renegades of Puck. We're all easy to find, and we're always there. You can also find the Renegades of Puck on Instagram. You can find the Renegades of Puck in an audio-only format on SoundCloud. That's right, we have the full version of Renegades of Puck TV, and we have that over in SoundCloud in audio only. The behind-the-scenes live stream is on Twitch, and that is a great treat for the viewers. If there's an F-bomb, if there's a second take, if there's anything else that needs to be done, even a little bit of therapy, we handle it on our live stream on Twitch. We also do bonus content, and you get the opportunity to have the information long before anybody else has it in the fully produced version of Renegades of Puck TV. So that's how you can help us out, by going to social media. And there is just one more favor I would like to ask of you. Become a partner of the Renegades of Puck. You can do that by going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck, or just scan the QR code on your screen right now. It is just that simple. Take your phone and scan the code, and you can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck. Anything that you can donate to us. After this week, the Renegades are scattered. They're in sick bay. They need caffeine and they need some rest. So anything you can donate to the Renegades of Puck and into the trenches, we will go ahead and invest that back into our organization. Thank you so much. Some of you have made some incredible donations over the last couple of weeks to help us out with Home Base Freakout. Means the world to us. Stick taps, love, respect. Now, you come here for the no half-step in hockey coverage, so I'm about to deliver you the goods. This is operation number 615 for the Renegades of Puck and Predneck Nation Radio. That's right, show number 615 begins like this. Your Nashville Preds, after 54 games played this season, find themselves currently sitting in 4th place in the Central Division. They have a record of 30-20-4. 64 points in total, has them 1 point behind 3rd place Minnesota, 6 points behind 2nd place St. Louis, and now 20 points behind the Colorado Avalanche. The discussion will have to start soon over the final 25 games of the season. Are the Colorado Avalanche getting so far ahead that the rest of their season is so meaningless that they will not be ready to compete when it comes to a best of 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs? We will have a chance to have that discussion later. But for right now, the Colorado Avalanche, as was anticipated, but I don't know that anybody thought they were going to quite get to a 20-point separation between first place and fourth place as quickly as they did. It is a 14-point separation between first place and second place. Looking below the Nashville Preds, the Dallas Stars are in fifth place with 63 points. That's one behind the Preds. Dallas has played one less game than the Nashville Preds. The games in hand are all just about equal. Now, the Winnipeg Jets are 7 points behind the Nashville Predators, but not completely out of reach. The Chicago Blackhawks are 18 points out, and the Arizona Coyotes have 32 points on the season and are 32 points behind the Nashville Predators at this point. The Preds still have a reasonable road record at 15-10-4 on the season. Unfortunately, they have just not looked as good as of late, and they have been exposed in some lackadaisical details and, frankly, not paying attention to the small work ethic type things that was helping them be so good in the first half of the season. Now, for the Nashville Predators, they wrapped up game one of this West Coast road trip in Seattle. We'll recap that here momentarily. Game two will be taking place against the San Jose Sharks on Saturday, and then the Nashville Predators get an opportunity to come back home on Tuesday to start a home set, a three-game home set that will see Dallas, Anaheim, and St. Louis all at Bridgestone Arena. The Preds' next road game after this takes place on the 13th of March, and that, of course, will take place in Minnesota. Some pivotal Central Division games coming up on the recent schedule for the Nashville Predators. This is the second out of three times these two teams will meet this year. It was all the way back on October the 26th when the Nashville Predators hosted the San Jose Sharks and defeated them 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena. UC Stars with the victory, making 28 saves. Matt Duchene, Philip Forsberg, Mikhail Granlund, all with a goal in that game. Reimer got the start and took the loss for San Jose, 23 out of 25. The final meeting of the season, the third meeting, will take place on April the 12th and will also be at Bridgestone Arena. So for the Nashville Predators, their one and only trip to San Jose in this regular season. Now, highly doubtful that these two teams would potentially meet down the road in a postseason matchup, because at this point in time, the Nashville Predators are hanging on to a wild card position, and the San Jose Sharks are not, frankly, even competitive for those wild card positions. The Sharks' overall record is 24-24-6. 54 points has them seventh in the Pacific Division, just above the Seattle Kraken. On home ice, they are 13-12-3, and their goal differential is -25. Looking inside the numbers, the rankings, and the statistical metrics for these two teams, you're not going to find a whole lot that is impressive on either side of the ledger, because the Nashville Predators, frankly, due to their poor play recently, have been slipping in considerable amounts in several of these metrics. Goals for is 3.04. That is down from 3.11 just about 2 weeks ago for the Preds. That has them 15th in the NHL. The San Jose Sharks, though, 2.61 is 26th. Goals against, the Preds are 13th, and the Sharks are 20th. The Sharks giving up over 3 goals per game at 3.07. The Preds just under 3 at 2.83. Shots for, it's been a pathetic category all season for the Nashville Predators. 28th overall in the league, 29.1, 26th in the league for the San Jose Sharks. Now, shots against, found this kind of kooky, 31.9 for both teams. The Preds get the tiebreaker. They're 19th in the league. The San Jose Sharks are 20th. Special teams, the Preds still 8th in the power play, but I've got to tell you, while they have managed to hang on to a single-digit ranking in this metric, frankly, the power play has been highly disappointing as of late, and all of you know exactly what I'm talking about. 40 out of 166 on the season, or 24.1%. The power play for the San Jose Sharks is 18th overall in the league, 19.7%. They've converted 28 times on the season. The PK, 17th for the Preds, and second overall for the San Jose Sharks. So the best overall statistical metric on the board between these two teams in the matchup is the penalty kill unit for the San Jose Sharks. They've only given up 19 power play goals on the season, and they have converted 86.2% of the time that they have been shorthanded. So for the Preds, with a struggling power play, they are certainly going to have difficulty, and we know from experience against this Sharks team that they can be very difficult. They're very aggressive, and they clog up the middle of the ice very well. They're also highly disciplined when it comes to penalty kill. They may be a bad overall hockey team, but they are a good penalty killing team. Looking at the most recent action, I mentioned they're a bad team. Let me at least tell you about the last 5 games for these Sharks. Go back to February the 22nd. It was a 4-3 shootout loss at the Anaheim Ducks. Go to the 24th. You'll find another 4-3 result. This time was a shootout win versus the New York Islanders. On the 26th of February, 3-1 loss versus Boston on 2/27. A 3-1 win versus Seattle. And then a 3-1 loss at the Vegas Golden Knights in the most recent one. So in the last 5 games, it's 2 4-3 results and 3 3-1 results. themselves. So are the Nashville Predators. Hopefully they're going to come in ready to take care of this game. By the way, of important news for the San Jose Sharks, Reimer left in net in that game against the Vegas Golden Knights. He is listed as day-to-day. And as a matter of fact, San Jose Sharks had to go out and make a deal to bring in Alex Stalock to help stabilize the goaltending situation. They are currently without two of their goaltenders, and the only goaltender on the roster other than Stalock, who we do not know if he is going to be starting in this game. He has enough time to travel. He has enough time to get acclimated, so we may see Stalock, but we also may see Sachenko, who finished up the last game. He's got a record of 0-1 on the season, a .930 save percentage of .233 goals against average. Simply too small a sample size for those numbers to really, truly mean anything. But I always get a little bit of a fear when I see that the Nashville Predators might be taking on an untested, unproven goaltender at an opportunity where the Preds really need to come away with 2 points. Looking at the San Jose Sharks and the rest of their stats, Timo Meier leads this team in scoring, is having a very good season, and is on that short list of Nashville Predators killers every time the Preds face off against this team. 24 goals, 29 assists, 53 points on the season. Thomas Hertl, 22 and 20 for 42. Couture, 18 and 22 for 40. Brett Burns, 5 goals, 32 assists out there on the blue line, 37 points overall. And then we see it go continuously down from there, 27, and it drops off pretty quickly. When you look at the Preds side of the ledger, Roman Josi still leads the team in scoring, 14 goals and 41 assists for 55 points. Matt Duchene has 25 goals and 23 assists for 48 points. Philip Forsberg at 27 and 18 for 45. Granlund, 8 and 33 for 41. Kyle Granlund's been slipping a little bit as of late, not putting up quite the consistency that he was in the first 30 games of the season, that is for sure. Ryan Johansson at 13 and 25 equals 38 points. UC Saros after that game in Seattle now 25, 17, and 3 and 922 save percentage of 2.50 goals against average. And it might be time to see Big Save Dave again. Riddick's 4-2 and 1 on the season, an 8.90 save percentage, 3.17 goals against average. But the team has certainly represented themselves very well when he is in net. And if you can't play your goaltender on the road against a 7th place team in San Jose, then who in the hell can you play your backup goaltender against? UC Saros is starting to look a little bit exhausted. He's not getting the support. The team is not paying attention to details. And it might be time to kind of switch things up for a little bit. Let's see Big Save Dave in the lineup a little bit more over the next 2 weeks or so that UC Saros can be fully rested, healthy, and ready to go for the final 20 games of the season. For the Nashville Predators, they simply need to go into San Jose and win this game. You can't go on a road trip and face off against an 8th place team and a 7th place team in the Pacific Division and come home with 0 points. Coming home with 2 points, frankly, is not satisfactory as is. But for the Nashville Predators, at least win this game in San Jose, get yourself back home and rest and get ready for a huge 3-game homestand at Bridgestone Arena. The no half-stepping part of the schedule is here, my friends. You've got to get yourselves back together. First half of the season, looked like you were going to have no problem competing for the 2 or 3 spot in the Central Division. Now, it is questionable whether you are going to be able to hang on to the 4 spot and quickly find yourself in the 5th spot, and hopefully not any lower than that, because then you will not find yourself in the playoff picture. The Nashville Predators have every opportunity now to turn this thing around. Highly emotional game in the Stadium Series, a lot of gimmicks in the month of February. All of that's over with now. Now it's time to play hockey, fellas. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can find them online, of course, at rebirthsports.com. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Rebirth Sports. They do an incredible job of taking visions and making them reality. They don't just make hockey jerseys. They can outfit your entire operation. They are hockey tailors, and they are the best in the business. And they are incredible partners, incredible people, and they make an incredible product. I cannot speak highly enough about Rebirth Sports. You see me wearing their gear whenever it is that I'm at the rink, whether it's in league play for the Mighty Drunks for all those years winning Stanley Kegs, out there on the pond at Lake Nokomis for the United States Pond Hockey Championships, or in various tournaments all across the country. Rebirth Sports is always representing, and they are always looking better than anyone else out there on the ice. They're incredible people. I sure do hope that you give them some stick taps, love, and respect. Again, rebirthsports.com. Let's go all the way back to March the 2nd of the year 2022 when the Nashville Predators took their second ever trip to Seattle to take on the Seattle Kraken. Final game of a 3-game regular season series between the Nashville Predators and the brand new expansion Kraken. John Hines rolls his lines out as so. Gino gets an opportunity to jump up there on the first line and goes up there with Johansson and Cunnin, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene. Trennan, Sissons, and Luff gets bumped up a spot. Tulvin, McCarron, and Tomasino back down on the 4th line. Your defensive pairings look like this. Josi and Favreau, Ekholm and Benning, Borowiecki back in the lineup, and Myers also getting another opportunity. UC Saros gets the start in net. At 59 seconds of the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Yanni Gourde's first shot of the game, and the first save by UC Saros. We go all the way to 8:39 as teams were mostly just feeling each other out for the first period. That's when Saros comes up with a huge save on Blackwell, 13-13, where the Predators' offense was seemingly invisible for the first period up to this point. Tomasino jumps in with his 8th goal of the season. McCarron put a puck into the slot area and from below the goal line, and it was Tomasino able to jam the puck into the net. His 8th goal of the season gives the Preds a 1-0 lead over the Seattle Kraken. 14:22 of the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Wenberg. He's diving back towards the post. He's got his glove on the ice, and he comes up with the save on Wenberg's backhand scoring opportunity. 15:20 of the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Lind after, get this, he lost his blocker and his stick. Now, they will blow the whistle if a goaltender has a strap come loose or if there's something wrong with his helmet and mask, but they will not stop the play if a blocker and a stick comes off, especially if it is your own player that assists in removing those two pieces of equipment. It's one of the oddest looking moments you're ever going to see out there in a professional hockey game. There's a goaltender with a glove out in front of him, his other arm tucked behind him, and no stick whatsoever. And he still comes up with a save on Lind. Then they get the whistle. Everybody has, I guess, a slight chuckle. I was a little more concerned about it than anything, but we got everything cleared up, and we hit the intermission with the Nashville Predators having a 1-goal lead and out shooting Seattle 9-8. In the second period, we go to 3:39, and Drieger comes up with a save on Fabro's long shot. No traffic, though, and he had perfect sight on this. Just a confidence-building save, if you ask me. 4:39, though, Drieger comes up with a save on Sissons. Trennan was looking for the deflection as he's flying by through the crease. 5:22, Saros comes up with a save on Appleton. Also, all alone in the circle. No screen, no traffic, and UC Saros comes up with that save easily. 6:17 in the second, Gourde's off the box. 2 minutes for slashing on Forsberg, and Matt Duchene is cashing in on the power play. His 24th goal of the season, giving the Preds a 2-0 lead. It was off of the rush, which is an unconventional style power play goal, and he goes stick side high. We call that a snipe right there. Matt Duchene with clear eyes and vision and a perfect shot. His 24th goal of the year gives the Preds a 2-0 lead. 7:23 of the third period, Wenberg picks up his 5th goal of the season. It was a 2-on-1, and he finished at the back post. Great job there by the Seattle Kraken, getting an opportunity and getting the 2-on-1 rush and beating UC Saros. But before anybody could even take a breath, at 8:58, former Nashville Predator and expansion draft pick for the Seattle Kraken, Calle Jarnkrok, scores his 11th goal of the season. It was a turnover by the Nashville Predators. Everly makes a great pass to a crashing Jarnkrok in the slot. We've said about it his entire career. Calle Jarnkrok, one of the highest hockey IQs you'll ever see on the ice, knew exactly where to go, had his stick down, and he finishes the play. His 11th goal of the season ties the game at 2 apiece. Again, before I could take a breath or even finish writing that previous note, 10:02 of the second period now, Yanni Gourde's got his 12th goal of the season. It was a snapshot from the low slot after a great feed, and just like that, the Nashville Predators find themselves down 3-2, timeout by John Hines to try to get things back in order. Maybe should have taken the timeout after the second goal. No matter how you size it up, it's an absolute disaster for the Nashville Predators in the second period in Seattle. 14:36, Matt Duchene is back at work. His 25th goal of the season, his 2nd of the game. He cleans up a loose puck after Tolvanen's great play from behind the net. So Matt Duchene's jam gets him his 25th goal of the season. We're tied at 3 apiece now after the second period. What was one of the most boring first periods of the season becomes one of the most exciting second periods of the season and starts everything over fresh at the beginning of the third period. The shots on goal at this point in the game to start the third, Nashville's got 19, Seattle has 16. 2:33 of the third period, Donato's off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. At this point in time, the Nashville Predators power play would make a brutal mistake, allowing Blackwell to follow up on a shorthanded scoring opportunity, and he would jam at the puck 3 or 4 times before it would finally slide underneath UC Saros and into the net. Blackwell's 6th goal of the game gives Seattle a 4-3 lead, but I have got to tell you, for the Nashville Predators, and especially for Filip Forsberg, for all the amazing dynamic things Filip Forsberg does and is capable of and how strong he is on the puck, to see him lackadaisically getting back into the play and doing absolutely nothing to support his goaltender, it is just a highly disappointing moment from somebody who is anticipated to sign the largest contract in franchise history here very soon. Lackadaisical half-stepping plays like that aren't going to get you the cash that you want to be making. So get back to full stepping here in the near future. Just highly disappointing to see. Of course, Blackwell is a former Nashville Predator, and he's got Seattle now ahead by 1 again. Nashville generates nothing the rest of the power play. 6:59, Saros comes up with a save on Lind at 9:50. Saros comes up with a save on Wenberg at 10:48. Lind goes off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. UC Saros has to come up with a shorthanded save on Giordano, crashing the slot hard at 13:43. Saros comes up with a save on Geeky. We'd see a long empty net scenario there at the very end of the game where the Nashville Predators would generate virtually nothing on net. 31 shots on goal for Seattle at the end of this game, 22 for the Nashville Predators. The Preds fall 4-3 in Seattle. They lose the regular season series, going 1-2 and only picking up 2 teams against a new expansion team that is going to finish in dead last in their own division. 3 shots on goal in the third period is absolutely and 100% unacceptable. You had a full 2-minute power play in the third period of a tie game, and not only did you generate 0 offense, but you gave up a shorthanded goal against where your superstar player who is supposed to be generating offense was lackadaisically coming back to back check and pick up and support, and UC Saros was absolutely left hung out to dry. It is simply a night that cannot happen. I understand coming off the emotional loss in Tampa or against Tampa at the Stadium Series, all of the gimmicks that happened this month, the confusing schedule, the makeup games, I understand all of that has put a lot of wear and tear on the team and on the players, but as of late, the team looks lackadaisical out there. They are failing in what they were so good at the first half of the season, which is attention to detail, hard work, and physical play. To be honest with you, I'm at a point where I'm ready to call out the herd line as well, because as good as Colton Sissons is in the face-off dot, and as good as Trennan and Jeannot have been at scoring at times, this line is not nearly as dominant as they were last year when they were first put together. For John Hines, he said just recently he really liked the way his team was competing. Losing to Seattle, losing to the Kraken, losing to opponents you should never be losing to. You're satisfied with the way the team is competing? I noticed the tone changed quite a bit after the Seattle game. For those of you who had the fortune of not staying up and all the way through and watching the media sessions afterwards, I've just saved you a good bit of time and effort. Overall, this game is pathetic. It goes on the list of the season for a number of games that have been pathetic. We don't have to go through the entire list right now because each and every one of you remember. But overall, this team was exposed. They were soft. They lacked attention to detail. And the players that you expect to be out there doing things failed to do so on literally every level. I go in and I look at the box score and I look at the numbers right here. Saros, 27 out of 31, hung out to dry. How many times lately? His numbers are slipping. His numbers are suffering. And yes, you want your all-world potential Vezina candidate goaltender to steal a game for you once in a while. But if you give him 0 support and you allow a guy to jam away at a loose puck for 4, 5, 6 times, then you're not going to do anything to steal a game from the goaltending position. Matt Duchene's 2 goals. Matt Duchene is having a revelation of a season here in Nashville. For everything that you guys have criticized him about and complained about ever since he first signed that contract, he's turned it all around and he's having a great season. The captain, Roman Josi, is on pace right now, if he can continue averaging a point per game, to break Paul Kariya's all-time franchise single-season points record of 85. Does that happen? Highly unlikely, but he still has the opportunity, still has the pace, and after 2 more assists last night, he is certainly not slowing down. Mark Borowiecki back in the lineup. 6 hits. Looked good, looked dominating, especially early. Glad to see him back. He's a big, important component to this Nashville Predators team. Now just got to get Cousins back in the lineup. But don't try to tell me that missing Cousins is the reason the team has looked like they have lacked attention to detail and frankly have looked lackadaisical at times during games. Actually, during large stretches of games. That's all the good that I have from this game. I don't have any other good to say. And I've already told you the Renegades of Puck are not going to offer any analysis on this game. Frankly, I gave the rest of them the day off so that I could talk with each and every one of you. What I am going to do, though, is transition from what was good in this game. Now I'm going to talk about what was bad. And if my tone for talking about what was good is what you just heard, then hold on for 60 seconds after I finish talking about Strong Style Fitness, and we'll get to it. Strong Style Fitness. I don't need a paper to talk about Strong Style Fitness. Incredible partner. Strong Style Fitness can be found at strongstylefit.com or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you so much, Stick Taps, love and respect, for that incredibly nice post you made about your appearance at the Home Base Freakout. Volunteered, helped us out, and was there from start to finish. Thank you so much. Helped run the raffle, helped run the giveaways, and helped in so many tremendous ways. You know about Strong Style Fit by now. 150 workouts already posted to YouTube by a certified personal trainer, all donation-based and completely for you. It's time to get off the couch as Renegades. Look outside. It's 75 degrees and it's sunny, and it's time to stop sitting on that couch. Whether it's your first stretch or you're throwing iron like a pro, Tracy's got something for you over at StrongStyleFit.com. Check it out. Give some stick taps, give some love, and give some support. It would mean a lot. Tracy's done a lot to help the Renegades of Puck, including dedicating half of her studio space to allow us to have the bunker right where it sits that you're looking at. Let me talk about some of the negatives in this game. I've mentioned it several times already, and it's because I'm just so highly disappointed in how good and what a premier player Philip Forsberg is. And every player gets caught at some point being lackadaisical, not paying attention to detail or something like that. But it is so glaring when it comes on an opportunity that ends up costing you a game. The lackadaisical back check not helping his goaltender, UC Saros, that's not going to cut it. He knows that. The rest of his team knows that. His coaching staff knows that. I don't think we'll see something like that in this next game in San Jose. But it was absolutely lazy support during the power play. The team itself, exposed in recent games. They are not working nearly as hard. Did they work so hard in the first half of the season that they're now too exhausted to go out there and implement the style John Hines wants to see for 60 full minutes, night in and night out? If they are, make some call-ups from Milwaukee and move on with the plan. Because if your players are not physically fit enough to make it through 2/3 of the season, then you have the wrong players on your roster. So it can't be that. Is it a lack of focus? Have you gotten distracted by the amount of gimmicks in the month of February, the All-Star weekend, the outside game, all of the other things that are going on? Well, guess what? The distractions never actually stop, but at least now the schedule returns to more consistent hockey. Now all of you are going to be talking about is the trade deadline nonstop, as if that's somehow less of a distraction than playing one outdoor game out of 82. So I'm very disappointed in how the team has looked as of late. They have started half-stepping, and nothing drives me crazier than half-stepping. Hines says he likes that team. I don't know what he liked about that team going into that Seattle game. The way they've been competing as of late is lacking in almost every department, but the coach has to try to keep things steady and even. He doesn't get to sit here and just go off in his own studio that he has built. But I have got to tell you, this team has got to turn some things around, and never again do I want to see 3 shots on goal in a third period. You had a power play, you gave up a shorthanded goal against, and you only generated 3 shots for the rest of the period, including some time with the 6-on-5. It's unacceptable in every game. It's unacceptable at every level. If you have an offense that simply cannot show up, I'll go back to the point I just made a few seconds ago. Make some call-ups from Milwaukee and get some players in here who can fire the puck on the net and generate some offense. It's just that simple. If the players are no longer going to pay attention to detail, they're no longer going to generate scoring opportunities, they're not going to get shots on goal, then they should find themselves not dressed to play in the game at all. It was a tremendous letdown after the Stadium Series to see the Nashville Predators come out and play like that. Roman Josi, the captain, very plain, very honest after the game, said they didn't deserve to win, and the captain is 100% right. They come out in San Jose like that, they'll have lost to an 8th-place team and a 7th-place team, respectively, in the Pacific Division within a couple of days of each other. Stripe Digital Solutions. Go to stripedigitalsolutions.com or find Stripe Digital Solutions Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Such an incredible partner here, the Renegades of Puck. From the wall logo that you see to the T-shirt that I'm wearing right now to renegadesofpuck.com and everything that we do to help build the brand on social media, Stripe Digital Solutions is there for me to assist every single step of the way. I've never had a better partner when it comes to the Renegades of Puck or working in the trenches. It is simply otherworldly how talented the artist known as Brandy is over at Stripe Digital Solutions. She can take even the most basic of idea that you have and turn it into something that will make your business look as good as any other business in the entire universe. I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to Stripe Digital Solutions by going to stripedigitalsolutions.com and checking out what's going on over there.
I see groups, organizations, and factions all over this building that normally would not come together for any reason. But tonight and this night, you have come together for the most important reason of all. Celebrating the glorious game that we all love and celebrating together. Renegades of Puck, we are here. We are taking over, and this is just the first of many events that you will be a part of and you will get to celebrate. Right, Leo? Right, Cisco? I see you guys. I see you in the back. I see you on the first floor. I see you outside. I see and hear every one of you. Thank you so much for being out here. Thank you. I'll keep the rest of my remarks brief. And now let's give you guys some stuff away But before I give the stuff away, the only last thing I wanted to say is we've lost a lot of great people over the last couple of years, and we've had a lot of tough times. So tonight, I want everyone to raise a glass. I want everyone to remember all of the people that have been with us. I want you to remember when you were with them, how special those moments were. And I want you to bring all that energy and all of that love and all of it to this room tonight. And I want us to celebrate together. Everybody pour one down right now for everyone that's been with us from the beginning. One last one, everybody. Pour one out for everyone that's here in this room, for everyone that's ever gone to a hockey game, for everyone that's ever thought about going to a hockey game, and for all the Renegades we're going to bring to the trenches starting this day and moving forward. Salute, everybody.